Good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Amy Carter. This is Courtroom 1, Session 1. Could I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Good morning, Edith Bush for the Office of the State Attorney.
Jace Thompson for the Office of the Public Defender.
Okay.
I have probable cause challenges, Your Honor. I'm sorry I didn't get to write them down.
That's okay. When I call the name, then just let me know and we'll address it.
All right.
And Mr.
Your Honor,
Thompson.
Richard Jones is no help.
Mr. Thompson, can you at least let me know?
I'll let you know.
Mr. Thompson, do you want to waive Mr. Jones's appearance? It's a felony case. We can go through the probable cause and I can set the bonds.
Yes, I'll waive his appearance, and in setting the bond, can I be heard as to the possession of cocaine within 1,000 feet of the convenience business?
Sure.
There's no intent to sell, manufacture, or deliver a controlled substance in this case. Per the arrest affidavit, he was just walking, and he happened to be in that location. And intent is an element of the crime.
And I concur, Your Honor. And this should be, the state would ask the court to find possession of cocaine as opposed to the possession of cocaine with intent.
Okay. And I also agree. This is case number 19 CF 5805. Richard Jones, he was arrested for possession of cocaine with intent to sell within 1,000 feet of a convenience store, possession of drug paraphernalia, littering, and sanitary nuisance. Count 1, probable cause for possession of cocaine. I'm going to set his bond at $200. Count 2, possession of drug paraphernalia, $100. Count 3, littering, $100, and count 4, $100. And I'll appoint the public defender.
Michael Outing is also mental health, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I would waive his appearance, and I would ask the court to release ROR for the trespass and take no action on the out on bond charge. Mr. Outing has been adjudicated and competent to proceed by Judge Caraballo on December 3rd, 2018.
Okay.
I don't have the case number before me, but I can look it up if you need it, if you need me to. And then on the Allen bond charge, he's actually set for a competency hearing in that case.
All right, let me just take a quick look.
All right.
Yeah, in the case, the out-on bond case, the 18 MM 8338, he was found incompetent to proceed and placed on conditional release on December 3rd
Yes.
of 2018, and it looks like they have a status hearing on May 6th of 2019. I will take no action on 18 MM 8338. All right, at this time, I will release Mr. Outing, ROR, in case number 19MM3373. He's not to return to the target on Millennial Plaza, 4750 Millennia Plaza Way. And he's to abide by the conditional release order in 18MM8338. And the public defender's office is appointed. Morning. Sir, good morning. Your name?
David Griffin.
Mr. Griffin, this is case number 18 CF 14565. Sir, you failed to appear for pretrial conference On February 20th of this year, at this time, your bond is currently set at none, sir. In case number 19 CF 5784, you were arrested for possession of a controlled substance, obstruction by false information, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I find probable cause for those offenses, and I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $100, and your bond on count 3 is $100. You also have case number 19 CF 3973. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for the offense of grand theft. Your bond is $500, sir. You're not allowed to return to the Home Depot located at 7022 West Colonial Drive. That offense stems from a 3/15/2019 date. You also have case number 19 CF 3646. You were arrested for grand theft, 3rd degree. Your bond is $1,000. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. This is also at the same Home Depot location, and the offense date is related to a March 9th, 2019 date. You have 19 CF 4747. You were arrested for grand theft, 3rd degree, pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. Your bond in that matter is $2,500, sir. And this stems again from an allegation at the Home Depot at 7022 West Colonial Drive with a date of April 2nd as the alleged offense date. I will appoint the public defender to represent you on all of the cases, sir.
And you said the 3 failure to appear is all no bonds, right?
Correct. Thank you.
Oh,
Good morning, Mr. Parker.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic, thank you. To my right stands Carl Johnson.
Okay.
Do you want me to proffer, or do you want me to question and answer Mr. Johnson on his?
Just give me 1 second. This is case number 17 CF 9312. Was it for a failure to appear for a status hearing on March 11th, 2019? Why don't you go ahead and give me the background?
Sure, Mr. Johnson's in Veterans Court, and he was having trouble making his counseling and whatnot with rides and getting buses, so he told Judge Whitehead that it would be best for him to do inpatient treatment rather than keep trying to make and miss outpatient. He was sentenced to 60 days inpatient treatment. He went to Lake Nona, but they didn't have NA or AA. They just had psychiatric help, so they discharged him after 2 weeks. He was waiting for a bed space at the Central Florida Behavioral Center. He was out for 2, 3, 4 weeks, something like that. That's the period of time where he missed his status conference in Veterans Court. He got into the Central Florida Behavioral Hospital, was there for 2 weeks. He was discharged Monday with a bed space available for him at Lake Baldwin to start inpatient. He was supposed to report in yesterday at 11 a.m., but he was picked up on this warrant. They told him that he can, if he happened to miss tomorrow at 11, he could turn himself in a day or two late, but would have to go directly to the psychiatric intake, which he can do. So I'm asking the court to release him with a special condition that he turn himself in to the Lake Baldwin inpatient center. I don't know what time he'll be released. If the court grants this, I don't know what time he'll be released, so he has to report there by tomorrow. And then I've given him my card, so hopefully Lake Baldwin can fax or email me or call me and let me know that he's in there, so then I can do a notice of filing that he's there. So that's what we're asking the court to do.
Okay. And he needs to report tomorrow by, what time you said, 11 o'clock?
He had an appointment yesterday at 11.
Okay.
I just don't know what time he'll be released today, so I don't want to say to report today.
Right.
So if you repeat, could you get there by noon tomorrow?
Oh, yes,
Even if you're
yes,
released
yes, ma'am.
tonight at, like, say, 10
Yes,
o'clock?
yes, Your Honor.
You could get there with a bus by noon tomorrow,
E-
safely?
Easily.
Okay.
I just need to pack.
All right. Ms. Bush?
Your Honor, the state can't intervene as far as what Veterans Court's wishes are.
Okay.
This warrant was signed and set by the signing judge for the failure to appear. I don't know if this is a matter that should be taken up with that court.
We checked with Veterans Court, excuse me, Your Honor, may I?
Yes.
We checked with Veterans Court, he won't be seen until next Friday, a week and a half, and he's needs the treatment. He gets sick when he's in the jail because he's not on his the stuff that he needs, the Suboxone or whatnot.
All right, and is Judge Whitehead is the judge that he normally sees?
Yes.
Okay, all right. At this time, based upon the information presented in the court this morning, I am going to modify the capias. I don't want Mr. Johnson to lose the treatment that has been worked on so hard to get set up for him. That's the whole point of the Veterans Court. You've put on the record the reason for the failure to appear, and that he is going to go there tomorrow. I'm going to order that you're there tomorrow by noon. You're going to
Yes.
provide proof to your lawyer, who's going to do then a notice of filing with the court. So I would release you ROR, sir, so that you can report to Lake Baldwin VA. Did I miss anything?
That's it, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, and I'm gonna send Judge Whitehead an email and let him know that I saw you this morning. I don't want you to lose your spot tomorrow.
And if you're not in there by tomorrow, they're gonna put another warrant out for you.
Yeah,
And then we'll have to go, and you won't get another chance
I'll
at it.
never get out again.
Right, so thank you, Your Honor, we
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, Mr. Johnson.
I need that help.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
David Blaine Pierce, the first.
Mr. Pierce, this is case number 19 CF 3454. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for the offense of burglary of a structure and grand theft third degree. Their probable cause was found. I'm going to appoint the public defender. Your bond on count 1 will be $2,500. Your bond on count 2 is $150. Thank you, sir.
Nah, 'cause they're felonies. They're felonies, don't keep them. Your Honor, I had 2 cases for him.
For who?
Is it David Blaine Pierce?
Oh, okay.
There's another, yeah.
Oh,
There's
no,
another
there's a
David
son.
Blaine.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, that's what, all right. And the one that we just did was the 3454, am I correct? 19 CF
Yes.
35, okay.
I think the other one's a junior. Good morning, sir. Are you Mr. Acevedo Rosado?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is case number 19 MO 750. You were arrested for camping.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
do find probable cause. Did you want a lawyer to help you with your case this morning, sir?
No, ma'am.
No, okay. Ms. Bush, is there an offer for Mr. Acevedo Rosado?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication, 4 days, 2 days credit time served.
Did you want to accept the offer, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please sign the plea form. Sir, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this morning?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir. I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 4 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You'll have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 30th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, are you Mr. Finley?
Good morning, ma'am.
Mr. Finley, this is case number 19MO751. You were arrested for laying on the sidewalk in downtown area. I do find probable cause. Did you want a lawyer to help you this morning, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Bush, is there an offer for Mr. Finley?
Yes, Your Honor, it's an adjudication, 4 days, 2 days credit time served.
You want to accept the offer, Mr. Finley?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just sign the plea form, please.
And the state
Yes.
recommends no action on the out on bond.
Thank you, Ms. Bush.
There's no offer to out on bond since there's no decision been made, right?
Actually, Your Honor, since it's a city case, if I can have a moment to see whether or not the city has filed an information, and that would only be to see if there's a filing fee that
Okay.
would be assessed.
Okay.
I could make an offer on that.
Okay. Mr. Finley, we're going to try to see if we can resolve your other case today, too.
Ma'am?
We're going to try to see if we can resolve the other case that you have, the open container case.
Yep.
Okay.
The state's offer would be a global offer
Okay.
on both.
4 days and with credit for 2?
Credit for 2 on the current case, and I don't know how much time he had. 2? 2?
And 2.
Okay. All right.
All right. Mr. Finley, do you want to resolve both the cases today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
Ma'am?
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this morning?
No, ma'am.
Sir, I'm going to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty in both cases, sentence you to 4 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. Those sentences are run concurrent to one another. You'll have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 30th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Ursula Kirkland.
Ms. Kirkland, this is 19MO752. You were arrested for camping. I find probable cause and will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Ms. Kirkland?
Yes, Your Honor, it's an adjudication, 4 days, 2 days credit time served.
Did you
What
want
does
to accept?
that mean?
So, if you accept the offer, I'll sentence you to 4 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days.
So she'll get out tomorrow.
Correct.
Guess I have no choice.
Well, you do have a choice. You don't have to accept the
I
offer.
really don't have a choice.
No. You- Ma'am, I can leave your bond set at the $250, or you can accept the plea. Those are your choices.
Would you have any objection to an ROR?
6 failures to appear. What would you like to do, ma'am?
I guess I have no choice but to accept the plea.
Well, I just gave you
I don't
two
have any
choices.
money. I don't have no other way to get out. All I did was go to sleep.
All right, well, I'm gonna reset your case for tomorrow, and I'll give you some time to think about it, okay? I'm sorry that you're so upset, but we'll reset your case and you can think about it. And if you don't wanna do it tomorrow, then you don't have to. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Your name?
John Dennis Merritt.
Mr. Merrick, this is case number 19CO 487. You were arrested for soliciting without a permit. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Merrick?
Yes, Your Honor, it's adjudication 3 days, 2 days credit time served.
Mr. Merrick, did you want to accept the offer?
Yes.
Okay.
Get out today.
I got it.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Merrick, did you read the plea form before you signed it? This plea form, did you have a chance to read it before you signed it?
Yeah, I read some of it. Yeah.
All right. Do you have any questions about anything that's on the plea form?
Huh?
Do you have any questions about what's on the plea form?
Do I have a question? No.
No? Okay. Are you on probation, sir?
No.
All right. Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
I'm a United States citizen.
Good, okay. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir. I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You also need to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 30th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Are you Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Perez, you were arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. Is there an offer for Mr. Perez?
Yes, Your Honor, it's an adjudication 5 days, 2 days credit time served.
Mr. Perez, do you want to accept the offer?
He has criminal history.
He does. I show a conviction for resisting officer without violence and DUI.
If you want to accept the plea on this offer, I just ask you.
Yes.
If you accept the plea, you have to go home. If you want to go home, Your Honor, would you have any objection to an ROR in this case? It is drug, possession of drug paraphernalia.
Your Honor, the state would just ask the court to take into account that he's on pretrial diversion on a DV battery out of Seminole County as well.
All right, Mr. Perez, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. He doesn't have any history of failing to appear, and he has limited criminal history. Sir, you need to make sure that you stay in contact with your attorney's office and that they have your correct contact information, because if you fail to show up to court, you'll be arrested. You understand?
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I'm sorry.
What I'm telling you is that I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, and you need to make sure that your contact information is current with your lawyer and the clerk's office so that you get notice of your court dates, because if you miss court, they're gonna issue a warrant for your arrest. Okay? Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Khalid Williams?
Mr. Williams, this is case number 19MM3423. You were arrested for possession of cannabis, less than 20 grams. I find probable cause. Did you want a lawyer to help you with your case this morning, sir? Yes. All right, so I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Bush, is there an offer for Mr. Williams?
Yes, it's an adjudication, 5 days, 2 days credit time served, and the statutory driver's license suspension.
Oh, that's probably not a good, Mr., okay.
Your
Mr.
Honor,
Williams?
would you, any, objection to a ROR in this case? For possession of cannabis less than 20 grams?
Does he have two holds on him?
Yeah.
He does out-of-county holds, yes.
Yeah. And Your Honor, I only suggest the ROR so he could, be released from OCJ and he could be transported to Seminole or Volusia and take care of those cases.
All right, I will release you ROR, sir. Again, as I told the previous gentleman, you need to make sure that your contact information is current with your attorney's office and with the clerk of the court so that you get notice of your court date. Otherwise, they're gonna issue a warrant for your arrest. Okay? Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Curtis.
Oh, okay. Good morning, ma'am. You're Tiana Dakotas? This is case number 19MM3399. Ma'am, you were arrested for trespassing. I do find probable cause for the offense. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Was there an offer for Ms. Dakotas?
Yes, Your Honor, it was an adjudication, 5 days, and now it is
3 days?
second, third, 24th, 3 days credit time served, no
Okay.
return to the scene, which is the Liquor Master number 5 on Old Winter Garden Road, and abide by all trespass warnings.
Ms. Dakotas, do you want to accept the state's offer and resolve your case? Okay. Mr. Dakotas, I'm just going to need you to answer my questions verbally and out loud because everything that we're saying in this room is recorded, okay?
Are we appointed, Your Honor?
Yes.
No, probation.
Dakotas, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ms. Dakotas, remember I told you you have to answer verbally, like with a
Yes,
yes or no?
ma'am.
Thank you. Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up that are on the form?
Uh-uh.
Okay. Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation? Are you a United States citizen, ma'am?
Mm-mm. No.
No? Okay. So I have to inform you that if you're not, this plea will subject you to deportation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
A moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
Massachusetts.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Ma'am, have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
Okay. I'm going to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 3 days' time served. You also have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 30th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, ma'am. All right? Thank you.
You'll get out tomorrow.
Did you look her up, Mr.
Excuse me?
Thompson? Did you happen to?
I didn't have her sheet on me, her, they said she was second session, so I didn't have it.
She was a move up. Okay. I just want to see. All right. Good morning. Are you Ms. Alvarez?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, ma'am. This is case number 19 CF 5760. Is this an add-on from yesterday? Okay. There's no warrant. Ms. Alvarez, this is an additional grand theft charge. I know that I saw you yesterday morning. I do find probable cause for this offense as well, and will appoint the public defender. This one is related to the Michael Kors store, ma'am. Again, you can't return to the Premium Outlet Mall at 8200 Vinland Avenue. Your bond is $500, and I'll appoint the public defender. Okay? Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Christian Ayala.
Mr. Ayala, this is case number 19 CF 5791. You were arrested for possession of a counterfeit driver's license, uttering forgery, and fraudulent use of credit cards. I find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $150. Your bond on count 3 is $150. Case number 19 CF 3961. This time I'm going to revoke your bond, sir, and reset it at $2,500. Oh,
And could we be, we may need to be appointed on that one, because he doesn't have an attorney on the out-of-bond charge, Your Honor.
yes. So count 1 will be 1,000 and count 2 will be 1,500. And then the public defender's appointed for both cases. Sir, your name?
Raquel Best.
Sir, this is case number 18 CF 17477. And this is a violation of condition of pretrial release, sir. Your bond is set at $2,500 as to each count. I'll appoint the public defender if they weren't previously appointed.
Your Honor, well, as it relates to the violation of conditional pretrial release, it seems that, I just want to know if this may have been an error, because he is on probation.
I just took probation.
He took probation, instead of the pretrial release.
Yeah, I just took probation like recently, and my first time to see my PO is on the 3rd of next month.
Oh, just give me 1 second, okay?
Yeah, I just took probation now.
When you see your attorney, when you see the attorney for, this is Dan Cole.
Not in 18 CF 17477. I don't see any plea or anything that place him on probation.
My probation officer name is Gallagher.
Pardon me? Do you want to look in stack, Mr. Thompson?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
We would ask that you take no action on the Allen bond charge.
I'll take no action on 19 MM 205, and the bond on the violation of pretrial release is $2,500 on each count. Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Mark Brooks.
Mr. Brooks, this is case number 19 CF 5785. You were arrested for driving while license revoked as a habitual offender. I do find probable cause. Your bond is $2,500. Sir, your affidavit for insolvency states that you make $1,000 per week, or is it per month?
Well, I own my own glass company, and I really don't pay myself. I just get money out of the bank as I go.
I see. Okay. So what would
But-
your income be, sir?
Pardon?
Estimate what your income is after taxes every month. What do you pay yourself?
Say probably $500 a week. But then
$500 a week?
I mean $1,000 a week, and then I pay bills out of that.
So $4,000 a month? All right. So you're gonna need to hire an attorney to assist you with this case because you don't qualify for the public defender based upon your testimony, okay? So your bond on the new case is $2,500, and then in 19 CF 1863, I'm gonna take no action at this time, sir. Thank you.
We'll do that.
Well, it means that I'm not gonna revoke your bond on your out on bond case,
Okay.
okay? Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Mel Dawson.
Mr. Dawson, this is case number 19 CF 5819.
Yes, ma'am.
You were arrested for possession of synthetic cannabinoids and trafficking in a controlled substance greater than 4 grams. I do find probable cause for count 1. Ms. Bishop, we spoke about this earlier in the week, that there doesn't appear to be a catch-all statute for trafficking in a controlled substance. So it would be possession, which is already encompassed in count 1, is how I'm reading the affidavit.
And Your Honor,
That's the only substance, is the
I
4.2.
don't know if any of the polymers or isomers of the synthetic cannabinoids are anticipated under the trafficking and controlled substance greater than 4 grams. I don't know if,
Okay.
I do believe that they are not scheduled for, I believe they're a higher schedule drug,
Okay.
which would then put them under the trafficking statute, but I don't know that for a fact. Schedule 4 drugs would not be included in the trafficking of a controlled substance. However, I believe the synthetic cannabinoids are a higher level. They're either a Schedule 3 or Schedule 2. At this time, Your Honor, the state cannot effectively address whether or not the cannabinoids are under the trafficking statute. However, the state would assert that based on the 4 corners of this affidavit, since there was greater than 4 grams of the controlled substance, it would fall under 893.1351C.
Okay. So.
And having said that, the state would assert that probable cause does exist for the trafficking charge. And the only reason the state brought up the schedule of drug is because we just, day before yesterday, had a similar situation, but it was for a Schedule 4 that did not fall within, the alprazolam did not fall within the trafficking statute.
I see. Okay. Do you, okay, I need to look then. Ms. Bush, what was the subsection that you think that the cannabinoids are under?
Your Honor, I did not know what the subsection for,
Okay.
and I am pulling it up right now. And just a quick glance of case law headers, which is a bad thing. It looks like they're Schedule 1. And
Okay, Okay, so I think I found it. So it looks like you, in order to traffic in synthetic cannabinoids, you have to have 280 grams or more, but less than 500. And
And
I'm looking,
therefore, it would not fall under the controlled
so that's
substance.
893, 135. One. M is what the statute is that tells us that. So, again, then that would mean that I'm not gonna find PC on count two. So you'll be ROR'd as to that count. I do find probable cause for possession of the cannabinoids, and your bond will be $500.
So it's $250 and $500, Your Honor.
Well-
Would the court have any objection to pretrial release? I see he didn't qualify because there was no address on file, but we do have an address that we could put on the record.
Well, does he
He-
wanna
he
just
didn't
resolve the
qualify.
camping case?
No, we don't want to resolve the Cameron case because it's time. Says you gotta go to court.
That's 19 MO 749.
No, Your Honor, we just wanted to see if we could probably get a pretrial release.
Doesn't look like he qualified for
Yeah, he
pretrial
didn't
release.
qualify.
Yeah,
It was
because-
for- No, it was for multiple reasons. It wasn't just that he didn't have an address.
Okay.
So he can resolve it, or he can take the bond.
Well, I mean, we're trying to get him out of jail, and even if he resolves the camping, we can't resolve the possession of synthetic cannabis, so.
That's right. All right, well, the bond's $250.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, hold on. I'm trying to.
And Your Honor, the bond on count one was 500.
Correct, and then ROR on count two.
It's up to you.
What's the deal right now? Give me what's the deal?
Get a deal on camping, you're not getting a deal on the thing.
What's the camp?
Do you have an offer for the camping charge?
May I have just one moment with counsel?
Sure.
That's up to you. That's just my advice. You should have.
I'll simply. Your Honor, the state does not have an offer at this time.
Okay.
We should have a pre-trial conference soon, but as I said, the attorney will be assigned to your case, right?
Hold on, man. Can I talk with you, Ms.?
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, good morning. Your name?
You Terrence Durden?
Mr. Durden, you are here in case number 19 CF 5722. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for the offense of aggravated assault with a firearm. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $2,500, sir. You're not to return to the Family Dollar located at 6325 North Orange Blossom Trail, and you're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Your name?
James Goff.
Are you Mr. Goff? Is that correct? This is case number 18 CF 16902. Sir, you failed to appear for a plea hearing on April 15th of 2019. Your bond is currently set at none in that matter. And in case number 19 CF 838, I'll take no action at this time. Okay? Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Terry Griffin.
Mr. Griffin, you're here in case number 19 CF 809. You failed to appear for arraignment on April 9th of 2019. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is currently set at none, and you'll have to see the judge downtown to have that modified, sir.
You know what day that'll be or when?
You'll have to get your lawyer to file a motion, okay? Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yeah.
with the failure to appear, it is a strong possibility that it wasn't willful. It was an address problem that they didn't send to his correct address. Because of that, would you have any objection to setting a bond in this case?
That motion needs to be filed in the trial court.
All right,
And he
we'll
can
get
present that
it.
evidence to the judge who issued the KPS.
10 days maybe at the most. Your attorney on the case should file that motion once he's seen that you're in custody now. He'll see that you're in custody now, and he'll contact you, and he should file that motion. All right. And
Good
Your Honor,
morning, Your-
the defense will waive the reading of the charges.
Okay. Sir, good morning. You're here in case number 18 CF 17990. You're Mr. Hill?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Sir, you were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for failing to report or register. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $2,500. Your bond on count 2 will be $150. And I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
And, Your Honor,
Yes.
does he need to be reminded of his reporting requirements?
Yes, Mr. Thompson, you want to let him know?
I think he might have registered. He said that he was registered. I mean, do you have any
Okay, but I
record?
think when he leaves here, he needs to check back in.
I think he said that he was already registered.
While he's been here? Because I think when he leaves, it re-triggers everything.
They said he failed to register at,
What's his-
originally. He said he was registered.
Mr. Hill, you need to make sure that you follow your reporting requirements when you leave the jail, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Just call that officer and we'll help you out.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Thomas Hunt.
Tell me again?
Thomas Hunt.
Mr. Hunt. The whole thing put out yesterday? No, I know, but, so Mr. Hollis is not gonna be here? This is Mr. Hahn. I know. Is Mr. Hollis present today? Okay. Good morning, Mr. Hunt.
Good morning.
Are you, this is case number 19 CF 5790.
Okay.
You were arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. I find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000 and your bond on count 2 is $100.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Jeremy Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, this is case number 19 CF 5788. You were arrested for driving while licensed suspended with 2 prior convictions. I find probable cause. Did you want an attorney to help you with your case this morning, sir, or are you gonna hire your own?
I already have a private attorney.
You have one, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, your bond in this case is $2,500, and in case 19 CT 955, sir, I'm revoking your bond at this time, and it will be set at $3,500.
3,500.
3,500, well, I'll do 2,000 on 19 CT 955 and 1,500 on 18 CT 9414.
What does that mean?
So the total amount I told you of the 3,500 is still correct, but I had to split the amount up on the 2 different cases.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got 2,500. So it's 7,000 total. Okay? Thank you, sir. Yeah, 2,000, 1,500, and then the 20, stay the other one at 25.
Have a moment, Your Honor.
Yes. You ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. This is 19 CF 5806. Are you Mr. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were arrested for sale and delivery of cannabis without consideration, possession of cocaine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is 1,000, your bond on count 2 is 150, and your bond on count 3 is 100.
Your Honor, as addressing for count 1, my client is unable to afford a $1,000 bond. And while I don't have a probable cause challenge, I would argue that there's not sufficient facts in the arrest affidavit to support like intent to sell. And I would ask for a bond reduction in count 1, Your Honor.
Well, I don't have anything to consider for a bond reduction. Just that he can't afford it. I don't know what he can afford. I don't have any other information, so that request will be denied. Thank you. morning, your name? Yes, your name.
Malik Jones.
Mr. Jones, you're here in case number 19 CF 5803. You were arrested for grand theft, 3rd degree. I do find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. So you're not to return to the Millennium Mall. And your bond in that case is $2,500. In case number 19 CF 3724 and 19 CF 3723, at this time, I'm going to revoke your bond, and that bond will be set at none. Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, Your Honor, what were the bonds you said?
I revoked the bonds on the out on bond case, and it's $2,500 on the new fence.
Edie, PC challenge. Your Honor, I do have a probable cause challenge for Mr.
Lawrence?
Mr. Lawrence, yes.
All right. This is 19 CF 5764. Mr. Lawrence, you were arrested for burglary of an unoccupied dwelling and criminal mischief. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Thompson.
With the criminal mischief, I didn't see any sufficient evidence to support that there was property damage. And it seems that when it comes to the burglary of an unoccupied dwelling, he thought that it was vacant, Your Honor, and any damage, I don't see any damage to gain access. And through per the arrest affidavit, the client's testimony was that he wanted just to use the bathroom, Your Honor. I don't see that being the sufficient crime therein. I would actually not find probable cause for count 1.
Ms. Bush?
Yes, Your Honor. Within the four corners of the affidavit, there are multiple damages. An initial damage of entering the residence, and then additional damage inside the residence. One of which was a doorknob, which may have been to the bathroom. However, within the four corners of the affidavit, there is probable cause that a burglary occurred, and the crime therein would have been the additional damage, Your Honor.
I agree. I believe that there is probable cause based upon the information in the probable cause affidavit, including him stating that he kicked the door to get in, and then his sneaker print was found on the door. So there is PC with respect to count 1, also with respect to count 2. I'm gonna set bond at $2,000 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name, or good morning, sir, your name?
Junior Marcelo.
Sir, you're here in case number 19 CF 2838. You failed to appear for arraignment on April 17th of 2019. At this time, your bond in that matter is set at none. Sir, you filled out an affidavit seeking the appointment of the public defender. You indicated you make $3,500 per, or every 2 weeks. Is that correct?
No, I'm sorry, can you repeat that for me one more time?
Sure. You filled out an application to have the public defender appointed, and you put down that you make $3,500 every 2 weeks. Is that correct?
No, not every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Every, a month.
Every month. Okay, I'm gonna make that correction for you, sir. And that's after taxes?
Like taxes is about like, they take a lot, like, probably like 20, about 2,000 some.
Like, would you say like 2,500?
Yeah, 20, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any dependents, any people you take care of?
No, man.
Okay. Would you qualify for All right, sir, I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you. And then in case number 19 CF 2711, I'll take no action at this time.
Your Honor, can we be appointed on the out on bond charge as well?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
I have a probable cause challenge for Mr. Nazareth Lloyd, Your Honor.
Okay. This is case number 19 CF 5780, and you're Mr. Nazareth?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, you were arrested for burglary of an unoccupied structure, criminal mischief, and resisting officer without violence. Go ahead, Mr. Thompson.
As for criminal mischief, there's no evidence that Mr. Nazareth did any of the spray painting, Your Honor. And to say that he did is going to be speculation. Also, it's an abandoned property. There's no admission by my client or evidence of an intent to commit a crime within it, Your Honor. This happened at Hungerford Prep, the old school, and I've been out there plenty of times. And a lot of those buildings are open, windows are open, people could walk right through. I've seen spray painting on those buildings like months and months ago. Per the four corners of the arrest affidavit, it's not sufficient evidence to suggest that he committed any of those crimes, Your Honor. I would ask that you release ROR for the burglary and the criminal mischief.
Okay. Ms. Bush?
Yes, Your Honor. Within the four corners of the affidavit, there is sufficient facts that indicate that Mr. Nazareth was actually inside the building at the time that law enforcement received the call. And there are facts that the manager of the building said that there was no spray paint within the building. Therefore, a crime was committed after the illegal, uninvited entry was made, Your Honor. State would ask that the court uphold its finding of probable cause or find that there is probable cause.
And Your Honor, before you make your ruling, I would like to point out that the manager said that there was no spray paint, but he didn't say that he saw my client do any of the spray painting. The police officer didn't say that he found spray cans in the immediate vicinity, Your Honor. And while he might have been in the structure, that's tantamount to a trespass, not a burglary.
Okay. I do find that there is probable cause. That would be an argument that you could make to the jury as to establish reasonable doubt. But at this time, there is probable cause for all of the offenses. I'm gonna set bond at $2,500 on count one, $150 on count two, and $100 on count three. Thank you, sir.
And Your Honor, may we have a no return?
Yes, sir, you cannot return to the 100 East Kennedy Boulevard, which is the Hungerford School.
You said $2,500 on count one?
Correct.
And he's also out on bond, Your Honor?
Yes, and I'll take no action on that matter.
Hey, here, make sure you get in contact with your attorney.
Okay,
All right.
Sir, good morning, your name?
David Perez.
Mr. Perez, this is case number 19 CF 5794. You were arrested for grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Your bond is $1,000, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
David Blaine Pierce III.
Mr. Pierce, this is case number 19 CF 3452. You were arrested for burglary of a structure and grand theft third degree. I do find probable cause, or I'm sorry, you were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. I will appoint the public defender. I'm going to set your bond at $1,500 on count one and $150 on count two. Sir, you cannot return to 155 North Goldenrod Road. That's the Orlando Golf Carts business. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, Bernardo Rodriguez Hospital.
Okay. We can reset. Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Sally?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sally, this is case number 19 CF 5809. You were arrested for possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I'm gonna set your bond, sir, at $2,500.
Your Honor, would you have any objection to setting bond at 1,000? I don't anticipate, I mean, he would, now this is gonna be an argument for the trial court, but, per the rest affidavit, his statement was he forgot that the ammunition was in the car and that it wasn't his. So, the state may have a tough time proving the knowledge element, but like I said, that's a trial issue, but I'm adjusting that to speak towards a lowering of the bond.
Okay. At this time, based upon the information that I have before me, I think that the bond is appropriately set at $2,500.
All right.
Thank you.
He said that's 2,500?
Correct. Good morning. Are you Mr. Siders?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is case number 19 CF 159. You were arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for case management conference on April 8th of this year. Your bond is currently set at none, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you if they weren't previously appointed, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Easy, I got a PC challenge. There's no bond.
You said no bond, ma'am?
No bond at this time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. That's it.
Yeah, I do have a probable cause challenge for Dwayne Smith.
Okay. Sir, good morning. Are you Mr. Smith?
Yes, no,
You're not Mr. Smith?
no, I got mixed up with, no, I'm not. Y'all gave me that former name. That's not my name.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I own all this.
Got it.
This was manifest, that's not my paper. This is not my paper. None of this is my paper. I didn't manifest. This is not mine. My house is not like this.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Smith. I'm gonna waive Mr. Smith's appearance
No,
at this
this
time.
is
Thank
not
you.
my house. I'm
Okay,
telling you, this is not my house.
I'm gonna appoint the
is not
public
my
defender's office, and I'm going to waive his appearance. Thank you. Mr. Thompson, did you want to be heard? I'll still conduct as IA.
Okay, yeah, you can just step back. As to the attempted burglary of a dwelling, per the arrest affidavit, he was just grabbing the door handle. So there's no evidence of intent to commit a crime, like, you know, what crime was he going to commit if he would have gained access, if he intended to commit a crime, at all. And as it pertains to loitering and prowling, per the Florida statute, the state would have to prove that he was in a place at a time or manner not usual for law-abiding citizens. And I would argue that it was a house that was for sale, and he was looking at it as perfectly okay, and it's reasonable that for him to be in the place at the allotted time, and the suspicions of another person doesn't negate those facts, Your Honor. And I would ask that you release ROR as to both charges. And if you do find probable cause, I would ask, because of his appearance today, if the court would issue a mental health pretrial release.
Okay. Ms. Bush?
Yes, Your Honor. as Mr. Smith was found with the carbiner that is used to lock the front gate of this residence that he entered. Mr. Smith did commit a crime once he entered the residence, and the state would ask the court to find probable cause for burglary of an unoccupied dwelling and for count 2, loitering or prowling.
I don't think he entered, and the charge is attempted burglary of a dwelling.
Your Honor, I'm seeing burglary of an unoccupied dwelling, and I believe that there's evidence here that showed Mr. Smith walk down the basement steps. Therefore, he was within the curtilage of the dwelling, Your Honor.
I find that there is probable cause for counts 1 and count 2. But I'll certainly take into consideration the facts of the case and,
Would you have any objections to a mental health pretrial release because of his outburst?
no, but let me just finish, Mr. Thompson.
All right.
So I will set bond or mental health pretrial. I just looked at the admin order. I don't see that this charge, would be one in which that would disqualify him, but he would still have to qualify, so I'll order
Yeah.
bond or mental health.
Mental health PTR is totally different, Your Honor.
What?
Their qualifications are totally different. Than
Right, that's what I'm
what's
looking
in
at,
the
though.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So, right, so that's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna order bond or mental health pretrial release if he qualifies. And then I'm gonna set bond. I'll set bond on count 1 at $1,000 and bond on count 2 at $100. Mr. Thompson, maybe make some notes in your system. I don't have any information about Mr. Smith, like if he has family contacts or access to his money or anything like that. But he has no criminal history. He served 14 years in the U.S. Navy, so maybe also note about Veterans Court. But because I don't know about his ties in the community or anything like that, I don't want to release him ROR. So if he doesn't qualify for mental health PTR and he can't post the bond, then you know to file the proper motion, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Good morning, your name?
Deontay Vonador.
Sir, you're here in case number 19 CF 5801. You were arrested for possession of ecstasy. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. And I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance at this time, sir. So you need to make sure that your address is current with your lawyer's office and with the clerk of the court so that you make sure you get notice of all of your court dates and that a warrant is not issued for your arrest for missing court.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you, sir. Good morning, are you Mr. Mason? Sir?
Mr. Mason is hospital, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, well, we reset Mr. Mason. Sir, good morning, are you Mr. Murillo?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're here in case number 19MO754, you were arrested for camping. I find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Morello?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication, 4 days, 2 days credit time served.
Did you, yeah, come here,
Yes.
Your Honor, this is his first camping charge, I believe. Would the bench have any objections to a withholding credit time served? Per the facts of the case, he just accidentally, he fell asleep at the park.
Mr. Thompson, I don't think that Ms. Bush is being unreasonable at this time. If he wants to accept the offer, he can.
He'll get out, what, tomorrow? If you accept, you'll get out tomorrow. We'll accept the state's offer and enter a plea of no contest.
Okay. Mr. Morello, did you sign the plea form? I'm sorry, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yeah,
Yes?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up on the form?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication
No,
that would
ma'am.
affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this morning?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 4 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You'll have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 30th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
So when will I be released?
Tomorrow.
So how much court costs will I have to pay?
$273.
He has a year to pay him, am I correct, Your Honor?
Excuse me?
He has a year to pay the court costs, right?
Yes, April 30th.
Okay, can I have a moment to confer with the state, Your Honor?
Yes.
Y'all, we may entertain a plea to the bench.
All right, this is case number 19MO755, and you are Mr. Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Williams, you were arrested for camping.
Can I have a quick moment, Your Honor?
I find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender.
I just want to flash that to my client real quick, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, we'll like to plead to the bench, and I would like to just put on an argument. for this case.
Okay.
With the camping, he actually has a bed at on the Homeless Coalition. Fell asleep in the park. He does want to accept a plea on the camping charge today, but he does have a job, and he doesn't want to lose that job because it was hard for him to get in the first place. And we were just asking for a credit time served offer from the bench.
Okay. Mr. Flax, where do you work?
I actually do construction for Miller,
For what?
like for Miller's Electric. Oh,
You're okay.
I do construction, like really like how can I explain? I just started doing it, but it's like you know how it's like long story short, like drywall. Like they put up a frame of wood. I put the drywall up, I nail it all up, and then they come through and they put the electro panels on it and stuff. I actually just
We do, I do recognize that he is out on bond and he has a criminal history, but the charge is, he was arrested for falling asleep at the park.
I'm not out on bond right now. Yes, you are. No.
He can plead to the bench. I'll do an adjudication and credit time, sir.
What am I signing? Time served.
Yeah, credit time served.
Yeah, 'cause I just started getting my stuff back together and stuff. I just started getting back in contact with my family. And I'm originally from California, then from Polk County to here. And a lot of stuff's been going on in my household and stuff, and my family and stuff. So, like, I just, like, it was like my brother came to me, my biological brother came to me and was like, we're going to push all that stuff back, and I'm just going to come to you, bro, and I'm going to help you out. So he got me with his job. He got me into the coalition. He told me he's going to, even if I don't have the money at the time, he's going to make sure every time that I have to have those $10 so I can sleep in the coalition that I have it. It was just, I would lean back, you know, nice afternoon, fell asleep. I apologize, though.
I understand, sir, but if you
All right.
do have the money to stay at the coalition, you need to stay there, you're just gonna keep getting arrested.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Did you read the plea form, Mr. Flax, before you read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir. I'll accept your plea. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. Sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days time served. You'll also have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 30th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Case number 19 CF 2955. I will take no action at this time. Good luck,
Alright.
Mr. Flax.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You have a blessed day.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Barnes, or Mr. Barnes?
Yes, ma'am.
This is case number 19 MM 3420. You were arrested
Yes, ma'am.
for trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. Did you want a lawyer to help you with your case, sir?
Probably not.
No? Ms. Bush, is there an offer for Mr. Barnes?
Yes, Your Honor, I may have just, it's an adjudication, credit time served, no return to the scene, 1476 North Goldenrod Road. Abide by all trespass warnings.
Okay. Mr. Barnes, did you want to accept the offer?
It's a question.
Did you hear what the state attorney
Yes.
said?
I'm asked a question
Sure.
about the attorney because I'm really not sure
About what?
about the lawyer. I mean, about the attorney.
Okay. Well, do you want one to represent you or not?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, did you hear the state's offer to resolve your case this morning?
I'm sorry.
Did you hear the state's offer to you to resolve your case this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you want to accept it?
I guess we can do the attorney.
Pardon me?
Can we do the attorney?
Sure. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, Mr. Thompson. You want to talk to him for a minute? So an adjudication credit time served, no return to the scene.
Yes, prior conviction, am I correct?
Out of state.
Out of state.
Out of state.
And you said it's adjudication, credit time served? Your Honor, if we do not accept the state's offer, would the court have any objection to an ROR in this case since he has no Florida criminal history?
No? I don't have any objection to that. I would ROR.
Okay, so you'll get out today, you can get out today regardless, right? Now, if you could get out today without paying my bond, and package charges downtown, go back to court, and it's court meeting to a free-time conference. A free-time conference as well, because do you want to go to trial, or do you want to, take it through that on that day? That way, and by the time we get a free-time conference, we should have discovered and go to your house and all,
Mr. Thompson, you might want to explain to him, though, he's going to have to come back to court at least 2 more times
Yeah, I'm not.
to resolve the case. Okay.
Or if you want to take care of the case today, then take that to guilty charge, credit time served, that you get court cards, and then it's up to you. We'll accept state's offer and enter a plea of no contest.
Okay.
And we're appointed, right, Your Honor?
Yes. Mr. Barnes, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
Not really.
Okay. Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Mm-hmm.
You have to answer out loud for me, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would
No.
affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this morning?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days, time served. You'll also need to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 30th of 2020. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. You also cannot return to 1476 North Goldenrod Road. That's the NAI Real Vest. Okay? And so don't go back there. They're gonna keep calling the police every time you do, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Y'all have to have a proper cause challenge for LaTanya Bell.
Okay. Good morning. Are you Miss Bell?
Good morning.
Yes? Are you Miss Bell?
Yes, sir.
This is case number 19MM3424. You were arrested for resisting an officer without violence and criminal mischief. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, ma'am. Go ahead, Mr.
With
Johnson.
the resisting officer without violence, per the rest of the affidavit, it doesn't seem that the officer is alleging that when she started walking away, it's the resisting, but when he called out to her, she failed to stop. And I would argue that since she was walking away and her back was turned, there's no evidence to suggest that she heard the officer tell her to stop and then continued to walk away, Your Honor.
Ms. Bush?
Ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor. The facts in this case are that this was a traffic stop. The officer stopped her. She exited her vehicle. The officer walked toward her. She walked away. At this point, she was on notice that there was a pending investigation. And then the officer ordered her to stop, and that was, again, resisting without violence, Your Honor. The state would ask the court to find that probable cause exists for resisting an officer, interfering with an officer without violence, as to count one.
And Your Honor, to clarify, she wasn't driving. Like I said, she was walking away. Then the officer told her to stop. But like I said, she was already walking away from him, and her back was turned. So there's no evidence to suggest that she heard him and then continued to walk away.
Okay. I think there's enough for probable cause as to counts 1 and count 2. Bond on count 1 will be 500, bond on count 2 will be 100. Ma'am, I'm also gonna order that you not return to the Legacy Liquors at 1115 West Colonial Drive.
Yes,
Okay, thank you. Good morning, ma'am. Are you Miss Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
This is case number 19 MM3422. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning.
Yes, ma'am.
I find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Is there an offer for Miss Harris?
Yes, Your Honor, it's an adjudication, 5 days, 2 days credit time served, no return to the scene, which is the Walmart on South Orange Blossom Trail. Abide by all trespass warnings.
Miss Harris, did you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please sign the plea form.
Wait, how much I got? I couldn't hardly hear in my left ear. I couldn't hardly hear.
I didn't understand what you said. Oh, 2 days? 2 days. 2 more days.
When I get out?
Well, today is a Wednesday. Friday?
This Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thanks. But I'll look.
Miss Harris, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
I didn't read all of it.
Okay.
That's the plea form?
Yeah, the one that they gave you in the back.
Yeah, he got my 2 papers. Where my 2 papers at? Let me have my 2 papers. Cause she, yeah. So when will I be getting released?
Ma'am, I just have to ask you a few more questions, okay? And we'll go over that again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the rights on this form that you're giving up today?
No,
Okay. Are you on probation?
no,
All right. Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
no, no. Yes, I understand.
Yes, okay. But you're.
I
US
went to ninth
citizen.
grade in school.
Okay.
I went to 9th grade. Yeah. I could. Now I'm trying. Now I'm 43. I'm trying to get my GD, but I don't know what night school to go to.
I see.
As you see what I'm saying?
Right. Let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would
No,
affect
I don't
your...
sniff heroin or I don't stick heroin, but I do a little that cocaine.
Well, Ms. Harris, let me
and a
finish my
little
question.
drinking, and I smoke my cigarettes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you done any of that this morning that would affect your ability
No,
to
no,
understand
ma'am.
what's
I
happening?
haven't did drugs ever since about a month ago.
Oh, good,
Yes.
okay, all right. Okay, Ms. Harris, I'm gonna accept your plea. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 30th of 2020. You can't go back to the Walmart on South Orange Blossom Trail, and you have to abide by the trespass warnings or they're going to arrest you,
Okay,
okay?
Yeah.
And you're gonna be released on Friday,
okay.
all right? Thank you, ma'am.
We were appointed.
You were. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Hakeem Pierre.
Mr. Pierre, this is case number 19MM400. You were arrested for disorderly intoxication.
Yes.
I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Pierre?
Yes, Your Honor, it's an adjudication, 3 days, 2 days credit time served, and no return to 4319 Continental Boulevard.
Okay. Do you want to accept that, Mr. Pierre?
He'll accept the state's offer and to a plea of no contest.
Okay.
That means I go home today, right?
Yes.
No, wait.
No.
But Mr. Pierre, you can't go back to 4319 Continental Boulevard. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Did you read the plea form before you signed it, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Do you-
ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this morning?
No.
I'm going to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2. As I said, you cannot return to 4319 Continental Boulevard. You'll have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 30th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
That means I go home today.
Thank you, sir. Morning, Mr. Owens.
Yes, good morning.
Mr. Owens, this is an out-of-county warrant from Volusia County for the offense of driving while license suspended. Your bond is $323. If you can pay the bond, Volusia County will come and pick you up. Otherwise, they'll come, otherwise you can bond out.
What, I'm sorry, you say if I pay the bond, Volusia County can come pick me up?
No, I misspoke, I'm sorry. If you
Yeah.
pay the bond, you'll be released. If you can't pay the bond, they'll come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get
I
there.
think my wife should have already paid the bond from last night.
She could have, I don't know, all right? But it's $323.
So, what I have to pay off that?
I don't know.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right.
Good morning, are you Mr. Weber?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Weber, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Lake County. This is for the offense of driving while license suspended. You failed to appear. Your bond is currently set at none. And Lake County will come and pick you up, sir.
Okay.
Oh, wait, there's another case. That's, a violation of probation related to a driving while license suspended. Your bond on that case, is also set at none.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I think.
Just wanna make sure. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Jacqueline Nicole Bass.
Ms. Bass, you were here in case number 19MM3387. You were arrested for trespassing. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Is there an offer for Ms. Bass?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication, 5 days, 3 days credit time served. No return to the Taco Bell at 7853 East Colonial Drive, and abide by all trespass warnings.
I should accept, Your Honor, and enter a plea of no contest.
Okay.
Are we appointed?
Yes. Ms. Bass, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this morning?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 3 days' time served. You'll also need to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 30th of 2020. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, and you cannot return to the Taco Bell at 7853 East Colonial Drive. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christina Cruz is mental health, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'll wait for her appearance, Your Honor.
Ms. Bush, didn't you say there was gonna be an offer for Ms. Cruz though?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you wanna see if someone will go talk to her and see if maybe she can come to court tomorrow? Or do you just wanna wait?
I'll waive.
Okay. This is case number 19MM3360. Christina Cruz, she was arrested for petty theft. I do find probable cause. The public defender's office is appointed and her bond. It's $500.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
That's okay.
Mr. Gregory Matthews is medical.
All right. Mr. Thompson,
No.
do you want to waive his appearance? He was behavior yesterday and is medical today.
If it's a medical issue, no, I want to waive it.
Okay, we'll reset him for tomorrow.
All right.
Good morning, Mr. Tews.
Good morning.
Were you able to get in touch with your lawyer?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So what I'll do is I will appoint, I can appoint the public defender to represent you, or I can just appoint them to represent you for purposes of this hearing. What would you like to do?
Can you repeat that?
Right, I can appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a violation of probation and the case I saw you for yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
If you still want to hire your own lawyer, I can appoint the public defender's office to just represent you for purposes of this hearing.
Okay, that's fine.
Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
You're still going to try to hire your own lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll set you for a determination of counsel hearing in a week in case you're unable to post your bond and you still don't have a lawyer.
Okay.
Okay? All right,
And-
so,
And Your Honor,
yes, Ms. Bush?
the state wishes to be heard again on the matter of bond. as a review of it is input as an F2, however, this is an F1, punishable up to life, not to exceed life. So it's 30 years to life. And that's pursuant to not only 782.04, but also 784.051 sub 1. Even the attempt is a first degree with a term not to exceed life in prison.
So, Ms. Bush, what's the second statute that you cited?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
What was the second statute that
The
you cited?
second statute was under felony murder, 784.051, sub 1.
You said 784.05?
I believe I wrote it down incorrectly. I had 784 point, if,
784.05 is the culpable negligence statute?
yes, Your Honor, and I did write,
I think
that incorrectly. That was, I had 784.051, but,
Because he wasn't arrested for felony murder. He was
no,
arrested for
and
attempted homicide.
he was not. However, as I was looking at 782.04, the attempt also falls under, and if under 782.04 and sub 3. During the attempt to perpetrate, that's if a human is killed. However, and that's what took me to the felony murder. Because under felony murder, the felony murder includes an attempt to commit a homicide, to commit a murder. And that's why the state went to the felony murder.
Okay. I think it's a
Statute.
first-degree felony, punishable by up to 30 years based upon the statute that he was arrested for, and then when you add the attempt on it, because that would be a life felony, and if you add the attempt, it knocks it down, so that would be, I'm ruling that it's a first-degree felony, punishable by 30 years, but I'll hear your recommendation for bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state's recommendation for bond would be $100,000. And the state would ask the court to set this bond and also to take into consideration that while it would seem de minimis at this point, but there is a prior conviction of domestic violence battery. This is a domestic violence matter, Your Honor. And the state would ask the court to set bond in count 1 at $100,000. Count 2, he is entitled to a bond. And count 3, the state would ask the court to stay the bond at $1,000
Okay.
and ask for a no return, no contact with the victim or witnesses, possess no weapons, firearms, or ammunition.
Mr. Thompson, did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. Holding my client at a $100,000 bond is going to be tantamount to holding him at no bond whatsoever. He'll basically have to stay in jail until this case is resolved. I would ask that you take into consideration when he's charged with attempted homicide. The second charge is aggravated assault with a firearm, which I think is more appropriate in this case, Your Honor. If per the arrest affidavit, the shotgun blast impacted on the passenger side door. The alleged victim in this case was sitting in the driver's seat. I would argue that that's not intent to kill, Your Honor. You could make the argument that he was trying to scare him. Definitely, probably aggravated assault with a firearm, but not an attempted homicide. And though I can't challenge probable cause because it's a warrant arrest, I would ask that you heavily take that into consideration with setting bond, probably an amount of $10,000.
At this time, I'm going to set bond at $100,000 on count 1, $5,000 on count 2, and $1,000 on count 3. I'm going to order that you are not to possess any weapons or any firearms, sir. You are not to have any contact with Jefferson Jean or Giovanni Tooth. You are not to return to 3726 Water Oaks Drive, and you are also to maintain a separate residence from both Jefferson and Giovanni. He can file any appropriate motions in the trial court and present additional evidence and information regarding his bond amount at that time. And then he also has case number 18 CF 14757. He's on probation. I also took that into consideration when setting the bond. And at this time, I do find probable cause for the violation of probation based upon the new law offense, and bond in that matter will be set at none.
And Your Honor, what was the bonds for the ag assault with a firearm and the criminal mischief? I didn't catch those.
5,000 and 1,000.
5,000 and 1,000?
Yes.
Can I have a moment to confer with my client?
Sure.
All right, so the reason why she said the bonds.
And then please set a GOC here.
So on the fourth one, that's for the POP. Yeah, and the Mr. Gasker's found All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning. Are you Mr. Flores?
Yes, ma'am.
This is case number 19MM2830. This is a motion for non-monetary release conditions. Go ahead, Mr. Thompson.
Your Honor, this is, I'd like to have my client sworn in to testify.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Flores, to the best of your knowledge, are you charged with possession of drug paraphernalia of more than 20 grams of cannabis? It's less than 20 grams?
Yes.
Or less than 20 grams. He's been in, Your Honor, my client's been in jail since April the 3rd, 2019, which indicates the inability to afford a monetary bond because he has not posted it at this time. Mr. Flores, if you're released today, would you stay with your sister at 320 Joe Louis Drive, Orlando, Florida?
Yes, sir.
Would you appear for all court appearances and obtain transportation to and from the courthouse?
Yes, sir.
Do you have most of your family residing in the Florida area?
All my family does.
Do you work construction and gain temporary employment at the Pay Center?
Yes.
And you've been working there for the last 4 months?
Yes, sir.
Have you lived in Florida since March of 2016?
Yes, sir.
And you're unable to afford your bond, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any assets that you could pawn in order to raise your own bond?
No.
Have you tried reaching out to any of your family members to post your bond?
Yes, sir.
And what happened?
They don't have none at this moment.
Don't have any money, and you didn't contact any bail bondsman because in order to have a bail bondsman assist you in paying the bond, you would have to pay at least you have to pay the 10%,
Objection,
which
Your
you
Honor,
don't have,
limited.
right?
Yes, sir.
Overruled.
To the best of your knowledge, have you ever failed to appear before a court?
No, sir.
Your Honor, this isn't a violent offense. Like, he's been in jail since April the 3rd, still cannot post his bond. He's tired of reaching out to people.
Okay, hold on. Let Ms. Bush ask some questions, and you can make argument.
Well, okay, go ahead.
It sounded like you were arguing.
All right.
And, Your Honor, the state has no questions. The state has no objection to the granting of this motion.
Oh, you made me do all. I should have conferred beforehand.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
the charges were correct, because then the motion, it says greater than 20 grams, and I just wanted to make sure that wasn't true.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Flores, I'm going to grant your motion,
Thank you, Your
but
Honor.
make sure that your address is correct with the clerk of the court and not just with your lawyer, so that you get proper notice of any court date, so that you don't miss it and they put out a warrant for your arrest.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you, I
sir.
appreciate it.
Have a motion to confer with the state, Your Honor?
Yes.
Now, this, because it's property. This one, because it's private property and what he's not doing. I do have issues with this one. But, and also, we know that he was out on bond, which was revoked. That should have been put into this motion. This motion doesn't contain the fact that he was already out on bond. But based on that, and the fact that it's private, see, he was out on bond in 2019, CF 32010. He's represented by RCC in that case. And that's burglary. This is trespass. Private property. Victim can't capture, so I'm objecting to this.
Ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you swearing in your client?
I will have my client sworn in to testify.
Right now, please, do you swear or affirm that testimony about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
I can ask a few questions. All you have to do is say yes or no to the best of your ability.
Are you Mr. Guines?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
For the record, Your Honor, my client has been in the Orange County Jail. You know, since April the 6th, 2019, which indicates an inability to afford a financial bond since he hasn't posted it at this time. And Mr. Guines, just for the record, you are financially unable to afford your $500 bond, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
His confinement, Your Honor, in the Orange County Jail is making it difficult for him to locate witnesses and prepare his own defense. Do you have any money in your bank account to post your own bond?
No, sir.
Do you have any assets like laptops that you could pawn to raise your own bond?
No, sir.
Have you tried contacting a bondsman in order to post your own bond?
No, sir.
You haven't contacted any bondsman?
No, sir.
Do you know that in order for a bondsman to post your own bond, that you have to pay the 10%?
Yes, sir.
Is that why you did not contact one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have only $25 in current U.S. currency to your name?
I had $25.
But you probably don't. But you don't know how much of it's
I
left.
ain't got it no more.
All right. Are you a landscaper that works at? I won't put his job on the record, but you are currently employed, right?
Yes, sir.
And does your confinement in the Orange County Jail put you in jeopardy of losing your job?
Yes, sir.
Have you lived in Orlando for a majority of your life?
All my life, sir.
Does most of your family members live in the Orange County area,
Yes, sir.
including your grandmother and your sisters?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a 7-year-old son who depends on you for financial support?
Yes, sir.
If you were released today without having to pay money for a bond, would you reside with your grandmother in Rio Grande?
Yes, sir.
Do you promise to not leave the jurisdiction of the court if you're released today?
Promise.
Do you have any friends in the area that could afford your bond?
No, sir.
On your honor, I would have no further questions for my client.
Okay, Ms. Bush?
Good morning, sir. You said that you have not reached out to a bondsman, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And is there a reason why you didn't reach out
Because
to a bondsman?
because I don't have the funds.
Okay. And you said that a lot of your family lives here in the area.
Yes, sir.
And did you reach out to your grandmother?
No, ma'am. My grandmother's is diabetic. My sister has 7 kids, so there's no point in me reaching out to them.
All right, sir. But your answer is no, you did not reach out to your grandmother. And did you reach out to your sister
Yes, I did.
with 7 kids?
Yes, I did.
And how did you reach out to her? Did you call her?
Yes.
And did you ask your sister if she could assist you?
Yes, I did. And she confirmed that she cannot because she has 7 kids.
Okay. So your sister told you she could not assist you.
Yes, ma'am.
And as a landscaper, how often do you work?
Not often. I just really started 2 days before I came in.
Okay. And at the time that you came in, you were out on release on a prior matter that you
Yes,
were
Your Honor,
arrested on.
it's not relevant to a bond issue.
Overruled.
Is that correct?
Ma'am?
When you were arrested on this case, you were already out on bond or release in another case, is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And the bond in that case was revoked, is that correct?
No, ma'am, it was not revoked due to the fact that the state has not filed any charges and they don't have any evidence to file any charges.
And Mr., is it Gines?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gines, Do you ever go by any other name other than Mr. Guines?
Objection, Your
ma'am.
Honor, that's not relevant to the bond.
Overruled.
No, ma'am.
I have no further questions. Thank you, sir.
Can I redirect, Your Honor? You, Ms. Guines, you stated that you, did not ask your grandmother for financial assistance. Is that because you have prior knowledge that, she's unable to,
Yes, yes, sir.
and it's because of her medical condition,
Yes, sir.
which is what?
She's a diabetic and she's on dialysis.
No further questions, Your Honor, but I do have an argument.
Okay, go ahead.
He's in jail on a trespass, which is a minor charge. As a matter of fact, he is willing to accept a plea on the charge today, but since the information has been filed, he won't be able to do that. And I would ask that the court grant the motion, Your Honor.
Ms. Bush, did you want to say anything else?
Your Honor, I do have a question with regard to, I couldn't go through his history, so does he have any prior failures to appear? And just a summary of his criminal history, please.
So 4 felony convictions, 4 misdemeanors, 1 failure to appear, 15 unknowns, 2 DOC convictions for a phrase, sexual assault, grand theft, construction site, possession of cannabis 2 times, theft, ag assault, and fraud, and then also out-of-state convictions for obstruction or retaliation.
I'd like to point out that he's not a substantial flight risk, Your Honor, and his background's not really relevant to the charge today of trespassing.
I'm going to grant your motion, Mr. Guines. You cannot, with the conditions that you cannot return to the motel.
The Smith Motel.
Thank you. I was trying to go back. Do you understand, sir?
Yes,
You've been
ma'am.
trespassed from there. You can't go back there.
Yes, ma'am.
And you need to make sure that you attend your court dates, and you can't commit any new law offenses.
Yes, ma'am.
All right?
All right.
Otherwise, your release will be revoked.
Okay, thank you. You have a
And
blessed
Your Honor,
day.
may we have a no contact with the witnesses and victim?
Yes. So let me just tell you, Mr. Guines, whether you recall who the person is or not, just so you're aware and on notice, that you cannot have any contact with Mr. Lowry, who I believe is the property manager of the Smith Motel. So if you don't go to the Smith Motel, you shouldn't have any problem
Okay, okay.
maintaining that, okay?
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Nothing else before the court, Your Honor. Oh, yes, I do. We have the, I apologize.
And Your Honor, the state needs a couple of minutes.
No problem. Take your time.
Hi, Ms. Steele. Your Honor, while we're waiting, could I address, Sheldrick Singleton from yesterday, the third three-day motion? It appears that when he came up for third,
That is on the docket.
it is? Oh, I'm sorry, I was
We're
getting
getting ready to go.
And, yeah, we'll just wait for Ms. Bush to be ready to go on everything.
And the state's ready, Your Honor, thank you.
Nineteen CF 4014 Anthony Williams.
And information was filed in that matter, and the filing ID is 88387944. The information was filed on April 23rd.
That would be denied. 19 CF 1960 Tamika Johnson.
And information was filed on 4/23. Filing ID is 88420829.
That'll be denied. 19 CF 3994 Shanika Long.
And information was filed. Filing ID is 88413228.
That'll be denied. 19 CF 3918 Ismael Tirado.
And information was filed. Filing ID is 88418223.
That'll be denied. 19 CF 4019 Spencer Dalmitz.
A notice of non-filing was filed on April 23rd.
That'll be granted. 19 MM 132 Julian Garcia.
A notice of non-filing was filed on April 23rd.
That'll be granted. 19 CF 2330 Tony Wilson.
And information was filed. Filing ID is 88392007.
And that will be denied.
I'm sorry, Your
Denied?
Oh,
Did
I
I?
just didn't hear.
Okay.
takes us to Mr. Singleton.
And then we just have Mr. Singleton's case, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Okay.
Mr. Thompson, can you put the case number on the record, please?
Case number 2019 CF 004015.
Thank you. So, Ms. Bush, you had brought it to my attention yesterday afternoon that the information in this matter had not in fact been filed at the beginning of the hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, and because the state doesn't remember when we started the hearing, the information was filed at or about 1:20 in the afternoon. Our session started at 1, so and if I recall correctly, we actually did the 33 days after we finished the session.
Correct.
So technically, the information was filed before it was actually heard. However, the state wanted to bring it to the court and defense counsel's attention that it had not been filed the day prior and that it was only filed on that date over the lunch break. So I wanted everyone to be aware of that,
Right.
so that if there was any cause to reconsider the ruling.
Do you want to be heard, Mr. Thompson?
For our record, I believe that our office is under the impression that when it was heard, the information hadn't been filed yet. And I do believe the rule states that it's not particularly when the motion is heard itself, but when the hearing as a whole begins. And if the hearing began at 1 o'clock, the information had to be filed before 1 o'clock.
Right, so I know you weren't here yesterday, but that was not, your office position was that, because Ms. Bush didn't have a time-stamped information to present to defense counsel during the hearing, that it wasn't deemed filed. That's the argument. So what Ms. Bush is saying is that she had represented in court based upon a conversation she'd had with the state attorney's office, or the state attorney who filed it, that it had been filed the day before, but when she realized, when she got back from court, that it had actually been filed yesterday afternoon about 1:20, she immediately notified the court and defense that that was a mistake. And so I added it to the docket today in case your office wanted to file a motion. That being said, I know there's case law that addresses specifically the issue of when the information must be filed in regard to when the hearing begins. So, I don't know what time the hearing started, and so I'm not prepared to make a ruling as to whether or not the motion should have been granted. If the hearing started and the motion, and the information, which I would think by now we probably could have a time-stamped copy, then we would be able to tell if it had been filed by the time the hearing started, but I would ask your office to file a motion for reconsideration with that information contained in the motion.
Can I do an ordinance motion to reconsider right now?
No, I don't think you'll have enough information, because you're gonna need to pull the hearing to see when it started and when when the case was called, and you're gonna need a copy of the information to determine what the time frame was, so that I can properly consider it.
That's true, but the state has put on record that the information was probably filed around 1:20. The hearing itself, per the state, started at 1 o'clock.
You need to file a written motion,
No,
Mr. Thompson.
The state did not. That's a slight deviation from what the state said. Our session started at 1.
Correct.
We did not hear the matter until the end of our session, so we saw.
The timing matters, Mr. Thompson. You're gonna wanna pull the record, and you're gonna wanna pull the information, okay?
All right, because I do believe the hearing time for the motion itself, on the motion, I don't think it was at 1 o'clock.
Well, that's why you're gonna file the motion and put all the information in it, and I'll be happy to hear it tomorrow, I won't be here Friday, though.
I won't be here Friday either.
So if you can get it filed today, we can hear it tomorrow. Okay?
And just for the record, so that council has it, the filing ID in that matter was, do you want to write it down?
Yeah, let me write it down. Okay.
The filing ID is 88387958.
Second session is at 1 o'clock, right, Your Honor?
Pardon me?
Second session is at 1 o'clock?
It is, yes. Oh, sure. So 1:30. Anything else?
I have nothing else.
We'll be in recess. Good afternoon, I'm Judge Amy Carter. This is Courtroom 1, Session 2. Could I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Good afternoon, Edith Bush for the Office of the State Attorney.
Jace Thompson for the Office of the Public Defender.
Okay.
Oh, reset.
Good afternoon, are you Mr. Mitchell?
Yeah.
Mr. Mitchell, you're here in case number 19MM3398. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. I find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Is there an offer for Mr. Mitchell?
We won't be entertaining the offer, Your Honor.
No.
No, Your Honor. In the out on bond, there was an ITP order on 3/29 of 2019.
I don't have the out on bond, so. Form.
I would ask for a mental health pretrial release.
Okay, I'll order mental health pretrial release or the $500 bond if he doesn't qualify.
All right, no action on the out-on bond, Your Honor? Or?
Yeah, I don't have the case number.
It is
Oh, I see.
2019.
Okay.
Do you have it?
I do.
Okay.
19MM155. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Are you still John Doe?
No, Judge.
What's your name, sir?
My name's Stephen Tadanio, Your Honor.
Okay. This is case number 19 CF 5815. You were arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer. I find probable cause. Your bond will be $150. You also have case number 19 CF 5814. You were arrested for aggravated battery with great bodily harm, robbery, tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement officer, possession of tetrahydrocannabis, possession of drug paraphernalia, loitering and prowling, and grand theft, 3rd degree. I find probable cause for those offenses, and I will also appoint the public defender to represent you. Count 1. Your bond is $3,500. Count 2, your bond is $5,000. Count 3, your bond will be $150. Count 4 will be $150. Count 5, 100. Count 6, 100. And count 7, 150. Thank you, sir.
And Your Honor, may I have his name again?
Oh, sir, would you place your name on the record again, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Stephen with a PH. Taddonio Tadanio is the last name, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll get it.
Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Dow?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is case number 19 CF 4468. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for the offenses of burglary of an occupied structure, damage to a coin-operated machine, tampering with a coin-operated machine, and petty theft. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not allowed to return to the Rosen Shingle Creek located at 9939 Universal Boulevard. So your bond on count 1 is going to be $5,000. Your bond on count 2 I'll set at $150. Your bond on count 3 I'll set at $150, and count 4 $100. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, does the court have a second case? Possession of burglary tools?
It's for tomorrow? Oh, okay.
Okay.
He's here.
Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Edwards?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is case number 19 CF 5776. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for the offense of possession of a controlled substance. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $500. Thank you, sir. All right. Good afternoon. Your name, ma'am?
Priscilla Galfucci.
Ma'am, this is case number 19 CF 5825. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine with intent to sell and trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Your bond on count 1 is $1,500, and your bond on count 2 will be $100. Thank you, ma'am. Good Good afternoon. Your name, sir?
My name is Pedro Mendez.
Mr. Mendez, this is case number 19 CF 5821. You were arrested for aggravated battery with a firearm. I do find probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. So you're not to have any contact. I don't see Adrian's last name.
Your Honor, can the court's order just be no contact with the minor victim?
Yes. Is he a minor?
He's 17, Your Honor.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so you're not to have any contact with the minor victim in this case, and you're not to return to the scene. You're also not to possess any weapons or any firearms. If you have any weapons or any firearms, sir, you need to surrender those to the police department within 6 hours of your release. Set your bond, sir, at $15,000. Thank
Your Honor,
you.
would you have any objection to a bond reduction? I know the charges are quite serious, but he has 0 criminal history, no pays to appear.
Denied. Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Justin Montilla.
Mr. Montilla, this is case number 19 CF 5812. You were arrested for robbery. I find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. Your bond is $5,000, and you're not to have any contact with Adela Ostrani. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, may we have a no contact with co-defendant as well?
Yes, sir. You're also not to have any contact with any of the co-defendants in this case. Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Nieves?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, this is case number 16 CF 3984. This is a violation of probation. Sir, it's alleged that you did not pay your cost of supervision in the amount of $20 per month. You're $460 in arrears. You failed to live without violating any law by being arrested for the offense of fraud or failure to redeliver hired leased property. And you were arrested on October 10th of 2018. It also says that you were arrested for dealing in stolen property on September 17th of 2018 in Hillsborough County. Those are the allegations, sir. At this time, your bond is set at none. I will appoint the public defender, and it also looks like you have a status hearing set for tomorrow in front of Judge Beamer at the downtown courthouse. Okay? Thank you, sir.
He informed me that he has a private attorney.
Oh, okay.
Robert Zachlin.
All right. All right. Good luck, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
I'm sorry. My name is Anita Rios.
Do you need a minute?
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Anita Rios.
Okay. Do you want me to recall your case later?
No, it's just that my girls are there. So it kind of like shocked me to see them there and they see me here. I feel embarrassed, but no, that's okay. They're okay. I'm sorry.
Ma'am, you're here in case number 19 CF 5820. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm. I do find probable cause for that offense. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Ma'am, I'm going to order that you're not to have any contact with the minor victim in this matter, and you're not to return to the scene. You're also to, not to possess any weapons or any firearms while you're out on bond. If you have weapons or firearms at home, you need to surrender those to the police department within 6 hours of your release.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? And this time I'm gonna set your bond at $10,000.
What does that mean?
That's the amount of money that you're gonna have to pay to be released from the jail. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Russell?
How you doing? Good afternoon.
Sir, this is case number 19 CF 5817. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender. Your bond is $1,000, sir. And 19 CF 938. I'm going to revoke your bond in that matter and set it at none. Also, in 18 CF 16864, you're out on bond for a grand theft of a motor vehicle. I'm gonna revoke your bond in that matter as well and set that at 0. Thank you, sir. Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. Are you Ms. Stanko?
Andrea Stanton.
All right, ma'am. This is case number 19 CF 5818. You were arrested for possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, 2 counts, and possession of stolen credit or debit card. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender, and at this time, I'm going to order pretrial release, ma'am. Thank you. Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Wilson?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
This is case number 19 CF 5699. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for the offense of battery on a uniformed or licensed security officer. I do find that I'll appoint the public defender. You cannot return to 2060 Americana Boulevard. Your bond is $2,500, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Nicholas Olivito.
Did Mr. Gonzalez bond out? Oh, he might be Spanish speaker. 1901231? He bonded, okay. I'm sorry, sir, tell me your name again?
Nicholas Oliveto.
Sir, this is case number 19 CT 437. You were arrested for driving under the influence. I do find probable cause. Your affidavit requesting the appointment of the public defender states that you make $500 per week. Is that correct?
Again, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Yes. Your affidavit that you filled out requesting the appointment of the public defender states that you make $500 per week. Is that correct?
$500 per week?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm asking you, is that how
Oh.
much money you make every week?
Oh, is that much? I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm like, I can't hear anything. Probably about 500-600 a week, yeah.
Okay, that's after taxes?
Oh, I'm a server, so I mean, yeah.
Got
so.
it, okay.
Is that after taxes or before taxes? Those taken out?
That's probably after
That's his
taxes, I would say. That's after
Tip.
taxes.
Okay, so, sir, you're not gonna qualify for the public defender. You're gonna need to hire a lawyer to assist you with this case.
Okay, I mean, I know I had gotten a DUI, so, I mean, I like know that I was under the influence.
Well, well, sir, I'm gonna stop you, okay?
sorry.
That's why you need to talk to a lawyer. You don't know what defenses may be available to you, okay? So
Okay.
just don't say anything about your case, because it's recorded in this room, and then it can be used against you later. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. So, sir, at this time, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, which means you don't have to post a monetary bond.
Okay.
But you do need to make sure that your address is current with the clerk of the court so that you get notice of your future court dates. Otherwise, they're gonna issue a warrant for your arrest. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Your name, sir?
Larry Upsall.
Mr. Upsalt, this is case number 19 CT 438. You were arrested for driving while license suspended.
Yes, that's correct.
I do find probable cause for the offense. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. And your bond is $500.
All right.
Thank you. Sure. This was Mr. Upsall. Yep, thank you.
Your Honor, my client has stated that he can't afford the bond, and he doesn't have $100 to, so he could have the assistance of a bail bondsman. And it may end up being that he have to stay in here, until his case is resolved. And typically downtown, if he says that he's close to getting his license reinstated, you maybe have to pay like a child support obligation. And downtown's my experience that once a valid license is issued, this charge could drop down to a no valid or possibly a failure to display, which is tantamount to a traffic ticket. I would ask, would the court consider, since this isn't a particularly violent charge, if would the court consider an ROR in this case, Your Honor? So he could,
Did you just tell me that he can afford a $100 bond?
he can, he doesn't have $100 on him to go to a bail bondsman.
I just don't have it on me right now. I mean, I can get $100, you know, when I get paid, but that's not till next week. it's gonna be, well, I get paid every 2 weeks, so it'd be 2 weeks before I could even bond out, and then by that time, I wouldn't be able to pay that,
And once he gets paid, he could probably get his license reinstated.
exactly.
There'll be a better opportunity for him to take care of this case downtown if he was on the outside, Your Honor.
Well, he has 2 open cases in, Seminole County, it says.
But he states that'd be whole for him. And those 2 cases probably they're not affecting your license.
No.
They're not affecting him getting his license reinstated.
All right, Mr. Upsall, I'll release you ROR.
Okay, thank
So you can try to get your driver's license.
Okay.
All right, if you don't show up for court, they're gonna issue a warrant for your arrest.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'll definitely be here.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, sir. Hello, sir, are you Mr. Watkins?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is case number 19, CT 3114. You were arrested for driving under the influence. I do find probable cause. Sir, your affidavit that you filled out for the public defender states that you make $600 a week. Is that correct?
Roughly, yes.
Okay, so you're not going to qualify for the public defender's office to represent you. You'll have to hire a lawyer to help you with this case. Okay? I would suggest doing that as soon as you can.
Okay.
Okay, so that they're familiar with your case before your next court date. At this time, sir, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You may have heard me tell everyone else, you need to make sure that your address is current with the clerk of the court. That way you get notice of when you need to be back. Otherwise, they're gonna issue a warrant for your arrest.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
How about Mr. Campbell? Okay.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
I'm Margaret Goodwin.
Ms. Goodwin, you're here in case number 19MM404. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence and camping. I find probable cause. Ma'am, did you want a lawyer to help you with your case this
No, I
afternoon?
don't.
Okay. Is there an offer for Ms. Goodwin?
Yes, the offer is an adjudication, 5 days, and I believe it's 1 day credit time served, no return to the private property that she was on, which is the southwest corner of the Walmart on West Colonial Drive.
Okay. Ms. Goodwin, did you want to accept the state's offer?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Okay. All right, ma'am. At this time, I will release you on your own recognizance. You need to make sure that your address is current with the clerk of the court so that you get notice of your future court dates.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you don't show up, they're going to issue a warrant for your arrest.
Repeat the last part, please.
If you don't show up to court,
Yes.
they're going to issue a warrant for your arrest.
Okay.
Okay?
Did you say you're releasing me on my own recognizance?
Yes,
Speak
ma'am.
kind of low. All right,
But ma'am,
thank you.
But please be aware, you cannot return to that bus stop at the Walmart. Do you understand? Where you were arrested. Don't go back there.
Yeah, I do. Thank you. Which way?
Oops. Good afternoon. Your name, sir?
My name is Karan Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, this is case number 19MM3428. You were arrested for possession of cannabis less than 20 grams and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. And sir, your affidavit for the appointment of the public defender states that you make $550 per week. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That is after taxes.
And you don't have any dependents?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you're not going to qualify for the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You're going to need to hire a lawyer to help you with this case.
I'll step in as friend of the court, Your Honor.
Okay. If he doesn't resolve it today, you're going to need to hire a lawyer, okay? Ms. Bush, is there an offer for Mr. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor, it would be a withhold of adjudication as to both counts and credit time served.
Okay.
Your Honor, would you have any objections to ROR in this case? He has 0 criminal history across the board.
Did you want to talk to him about the offer?
Yeah, I'll talk to him. Withhold, you have to get expunged, right? But at the end of the child person program, you'll be executed even though withhold isn't bad for child person to be the best in your scenario, unless you want to take your child. If she is willing to release you R1, I would take the R1 and at least let an attorney look at your case.
Mr. Thompson, the face sheet said that he has an expungement pursuant to Florida Statute 943.0513.
I think that's juvenile though.
Okay.
Would the court have any objections to an ROR in this case, or at least you have time to think about it?
I will.
All right, you look it out today, give it to an attorney and just sit down and think about it and talk about it, all right?
Mr. Jackson, like I told the people before you, please make sure that your contact information is current with the clerk of the court. That way, you get notice of your court hearing and you don't miss court, because if you do, they'll issue a warrant for your arrest.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
Okay. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Julia Scott.
Mr. Scott, you're here in case number 19MM3425. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Scott?
Yes, Your Honor, it's an adjudication, 5 days, 1 day credit time served, no return to 455 North Garland Avenue, which is the Lynx Bus Terminal, and abide by all trespass warnings.
Mr. Scott, do you want to accept the offer?
Have a moment, y'all.
Sure.
Y'all, could there be a return to the bus terminal if he's actually using the bus? That's his only means of transportation.
If he has a purchased bus
Yeah, if you
ticket?
have a purchased bus ticket.
However, Your Honor, they have trespassed him from that property, and I don't know that he can return when they've trespassed him.
That's true.
He'll just get
So
arrested again.
I agree with Ms. Bush. If he's been trespassed from the 455 North Garland Avenue, that's the terminal, he can't go there. If he has, jumps on the bus to go from point A to point B, I don't see an issue with that because it's not the terminal, but he can't go back to 455 North Garland.
Your Honor, if we were to plead to the bench, is there any objection to a credit time served offer in this case?
I'm not gonna make a different offer than was already
All right.
conveyed to him.
So it's not that you won't take it or buy it downtown? You'll do about 3 days. I will accept the state's offer and enter a plea of no contest, Your Honor.
Okay, I just need the plea form, please.
And we'll ask the court to take no action on the Allen bond charge.
I think that was taken into consideration, yes, Ms. Bush, when you made your offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have to get Cash Plus, but don't go to the terminal Cash Plus. Don't get that plus out.
Thank you. Mr. Scott, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Not really, not all of it.
Okay. Well, I need to make sure you read it and you understand it before I take your plea. All right. Good afternoon, your name?
Patrick Christie.
Mr. Christie, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Osceola County. This is for driving while license suspended as a habitual offender. Your bond is $5,998. If you're unable to post the bond, Osceola County will come and pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there. Okay, thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name, sir?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Christopher Garofano.
Mr. Garofano, you are here for an out-of-county warrant from Osceola County. This is for failing to appear for drug court. Your bond is currently set at none. Osceola County will come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there.
Said it what? I'm sorry?
It says none.
Is there any way possible? The reason why I failure to appear is because I was in the hospital with acute hepatitis. I'm actually starting to get jaundice again right now. It would, honestly, I beg, it'd be in my best interest that I get bonded so I can go back to the hospital and get clear of what
I understand,
this is.
sir.
'Cause
I
I'm-
don't have the authority to modify the out-of-county warrant. I'm a judge in Orange County. So
Right.
Osceola County has 24 hours to come pick you up. When you get there, you'll get a first appearance hearing and the judge there can address your bond issue. Okay?
Okay.
Oh, sir, it looks like you do have a second case. It's also an out-of-county warrant for the drug court, and it also is at zero bond. Oh, 4107. Oops. I'm sorry, sir, I missed one of your cases. You also have another out-of-county warrant for failing to appear for drug court. It's also set at a zero bond, so the same.
I have a second one?
Yeah, you have two different case numbers. 18 CF 4585 and 18 CF
Oh,
4107.
it's because there's two cases
Yeah,
that,
right,
okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll
All
see the
right.
judge when you get there.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Did you have a chance to read the form, sir?
Yes, I read
Okay.
it.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up on the form?
No, no questions.
Okay. Are you on probation?
No, no.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
Sir, I'm going to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day time served. You can't return to the bus terminal at 455 North Garland Avenue, and you need to abide by the trespass warning. You'll also have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 30th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. All right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
afternoon, sir. Your name?
Pablo Morville.
Mr. Morabel, you were here for an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County for the offense of criminal mischief. Your bond is $500. If you're unable to post that, Seminole County will come get you, and you'll see a judge when you get there. All right, thank you, sir. I believe that's everything. All right, then we'll be off the record.